It's I got because when as soon as I graduated college, I was just working, and all my friends said, "Well, you're always working, you're always working, you're always working," and now it's like, well, we got to keep working. I'm like, well, I could just sell everything and just go mind my own business. So, but I also had to take a sacrifice because I'm also not married and I don't have a family yet. So, you know, I made a lot of wealth early, but I'm not that old. Like 40 is not that old, so I can still live my life there. Shout out to Head Cornerstone. Uh, Locked in my cash profits 17x. I'll buy back in when it drops. Say there we go. Shout out to Why Me God, made 155K off one coin on Pulse Chain with $550 recently. I don't know about that, but hey, if you made money, I definitely say cash out those profits. But that seems
I
like a
don't.
miracle pump there.
It doesn't matter how high Hex goes or Pulse Trains goes. I will never buy it. And people would be like, "Oh, well, for the sake of making money, that sounds ignorant." Not necessarily when it comes to Hex and anything regarding that. I'm at the point where I just roll my eyes. Like, no offense to
I
anybody that likes Hex and Pulse Chain, but any
hear
serious
you.
crypto forum will literally laugh at you if you talk about it. Like, maybe amateurs, they'd be like, yeah, man, I'll check it out and stuff. But anybody who's actually has experience and knowledge in crypto, they know not to mix with Pulse Chain and Hex. Hex and Pulse Chain, they only rely on newcomers. So I mean, if you're gonna dump the bag out on newcomers and make a profit, that's all good. But Hex and Pulse Chain itself, like, regardless of what these people say, I'm just tired of hearing the same old textbook crap that they say.
Yeah, I definitely can hear. Especially anyone is like, I have the same thing with Bitcoin maxis. I have the same thing with XRP maxis. Like, yes, we heard. Be quiet. uh, shout out
Exactly.
to shout out to. Whoops, kind of missed it there. Give me 1 second. Shout out to Leland's 74. Do you think XRP will be a good in the bull run? It will make money in the bull run, but there are better options for better ROI. It's just that XRP is just going to be needed probably to transact and shift money around. That's my belief on it. But I've been holding XRP for the last 2 years. I've been heavily investing in it in 2022 when it was in the 20 cents and 30-cent range. So even though I only expect like a couple dollars where the coin will hit like maybe 350 to 550 range, that's profit for me. But if you're getting in now, you'll still make a little bit of money, but not as much money as you put into Dot, Chainlink, or even Ethereum. Shout out to Ann Main. Glad to have you in here. You're 40. Yep, born 1983. I'll be 40 in 1 week, almost 1 week. So, but yeah, I'm definitely getting up there. Shout out to King Kong. Like the name, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Uh, Shout out to why me God. It's all about the money. Shout out to Head Cornerstone. I agree on Hex. Personally, I think Hex is a scam, Ponzi like. Shout out to why me God. Ooh, guys keeps commenting there. My money is laughing at the guy crying about Hex and Pulse Chain. I love my Hex read, so I donated freely on the fun of reading. Uh, Shout out to your Renaissance. I guess you commented in there. I might have missed you. So I do apologize, buddy. Maybe it just got off my screen. If you did, I'm sorry, but if I missed, but glad to have you in here. Shout out to
No, I agree with what NG Dub said. You know, a lot of coins do, but Hex and Pulse Chain itself, I mean, you can make money on it. I'm just saying, like, it does nothing.
yeah, that is very true as well. But it's like you just got to cash it out, and it's getting harder and harder to cash it out. So, and you have to use Uniswap and all this other stuff, and so it seems like a waste to have. Like I made a lot of money, but I can't get it off. Uh, Shout out to dot supporter, glad to have you in here. Caspa, yeah, we could talk about Caspa in a little bit. Shout out to Live and Learn. I'm 10 years older than you. Hey, I'm only 40, and even 50 is not bad because most of my people in my family live to close to 100, even on my mom and my dad's side. So I have a good chance of being in my hundreds. Um, Shout out to Why Me Gods. You guys even know how to use blockchain? I'm sure Cody does. I know investments. So I know when something's a good investment, and Cody and my brother are really good at technology. So I ask questions to them and kind of learn from there. But I'm always glad that I look at the white papers, I read it, I do my research, and I try to understand it as best to my ability. Um, Centralized exchanges are not real crypto. Well, they're not really exchanges. They're more like brokerages, and the custodial wallet, it is there, but it's just not your ownership until you move it to your hard wallet. But even still, a lot of uh, crypto exchanges have a cooldown period, especially when you start your new account before you can move it out. Like
Yeah,
Uphold has like 90 days before you can move it off of there.
I want to touch on what I said. That made NG Dubs leave his comment. Yeah, it definitely was a dumb argument. I realized what I said literally right after I said it. But it's like look at the exchanges that are dropping support for Hex. I mean, North Korea. I mean, look at Korean exchanges. They're actually upping their game on supporting crypto. Yet they don't even allow Hex on their exchanges. More and more exchanges are dropping Hex, or they're not just fooling with it. Why would you want to buy something that barely any exchange supports? Like every exchange supports Ethereum, every exchange supports Bitcoin. Most exchanges support the blue chip alts, but Hex isn't in any position. Like for example, Chainlink or Polkadot. Polkadot and Chainlink, they're actually available on every single crypto exchange you can think of. Kraken doesn't even have Hex. Like you have to download like some stupid digital wallet just to be able to buy Hex. What? Like why would I want that? And it's like yeah, you can make gains. Like NG Dubs keeps thinking like, oh, you can't make money with Hex. You can. You certainly can, especially with a lot of vulnerable people coming into the market. But understand that Richard Hart and everything that's tied to him, it's just all bullshit. And I'm tired of these Hex people. They literally think they can change our minds so we can add more liquidity to their bags. That's literally all they want. And I'm not having it. This is a show where we're passionate about crypto. These guys literally know our viewpoints on Hex and Postchain, and they still keep trying to 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 make us add liquidity. And then they keep saying, "Oh, we don't understand blockchain and crypto." No, we understand what bullshit is.
Yeah, Cody's pretty adamant against Hex. So, just to let you guys know, if you're a Hex
It's
user,
useless to try to convince people on our stream to add liquidity into your bags. It's
but
not going to happen.
here's the thing about decentralized and centralized exchanges. Every exchange has a controller. Every exchange is a business. Therefore, every exchange is going to be centralized in some fashion or something. You can tell me all that validators and all that stuff, but my experience, my 40 years of living on this planet, has told me that someone's in charge and someone has the button to pull or the lever to pull. So it's 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 centralized at some point. But it's the same argument that we're making about Robinhood. It's not, those things don't work exactly how you think it does. Now with Uphold, because I've been using them for so long, I can get my crypto off of it immediately. I don't care where it goes. But as a business owner, I know that anyone that tells me I'm offering a cheap, no fees, none this, a lot of bonuses, then I know your service is probably questionable, because anyone that has true value makes you charge for their service. It's just the same way with a luxury car. If it's truly a luxury car, they're not budging on the price. They're going to tell you, hey, you either got the money for it or you don't. We know our value. That's how I operate. But any exchange, Trust Wallet and Meta Wallet, I don't trust them to begin with, because there's a source code, and I know enough about computing to know that as long as I have that source code, I could do whatever the hell I want. So therefore, whoever has that, it's centralized. And every business is centralized. Every company is centralized at some point. There's someone in charge, there's someone who calls the shots. It's centralized. It doesn't matter how many validators, how many people are on it. Someone is in charge, and there is an opportunity. That's why I say when Bitcoin maxis say Bitcoin is completely decentralized, just because we don't know who has control of it doesn't make it decentralized. It's centralized. Someone has control over it, and we're and when that bag drops, we're going to find out very quickly. Unfortunately, in a hard situation.
Hey, I do want to say something about what NG Dub says. If you think we've never used decentralized exchanges, you think we don't know a lot about this and that. How come you keep tuning into our streams? It's like you have a goal in mind for you attending our streams, and the reason why is A, you want to change our opinion on Hex, or B, you want us to keep adding liquidity into your bags. Like if you really think we're dumb and uneducated and we don't know about this and that, quit watching our stream.
That is true too. But I'm glad to have anyone in here, even if you have dissenting opinions. As long as we keep it civil, don't call each other names or anything like that. Because one thing, my moderators will block you and kick you off. So we keep it civil. You keep it argue the point, not the person, and we can keep moving forward. Shout out to El Ginty. How do you know if find out if an exchange has a source code? Every program has a source code that you can directly access a lot of things. So it's usually like the master thing, kind of like editing a website. You can edit in the program, change things, whereas other people may be able to add to the network, but they can't change the overall like principles or laws of the network. Let's see here. I guess we all reached the end point of that. Um, I know Crypto Junior's probably going to come back on in a little bit, but definitely glad to have all you guys in here. But let's because the only place I could actually look up Hex is on here. So let's take a look at Hex, and let's take a look at this month, see how it fared. So went up 173%.
I really want to know why hex holders keep coming into our stream. Like, I want to know. There's an agenda behind it.
But for all you Hexicans, I'm a little curious as to why you know the volume trading's in the millions while the valuation's in the billions, 1.5 billion. So it that to me seems a little fishy. Like we shot up over. I'm looking at only a few million, whereas similar projects have been in the hundreds of millions with better values. But if I look at it over the 1 year, we're down 78%. We have that pump didn't even get us back to where we were at the beginning of the year. Whereas if I pick a different one, we're going to see right away that let's just let's for
NG,
sake of point because they want to talk about XRP. Let's talk about XRP.
like I said, he keeps leaving like LOL comments and he keeps laughing and saying that we don't know this and that. Like, I'm really curious, NG Dubs. Like, I know Sal, I know you like everybody watching our stream, but I'm a little more different. It's like, why do you keep coming to our stream if you think we're uneducated on what you're on? It's like, we made it clear that we don't like Hex, and then you keep laughing at us. It's like, is that what you join our stream for? Like, because I mean, we just don't entertain that. Like, I'm curious to know why NG Dubs. You leave a lot of comments. Please tell me why you watch our stream. Like, I want to know why.
Shout out to Head Cornerstone Media. I dropped 10K on Sol at $11. I'm selling when it hits all-time high. Sol really is Web2 technology. Yeah, I think after the FTX debacle, a lot of things slowed down with Solana, but who knows? It may come back. Shout out to NG Dubs. You say you know about Hex. You guys know nothing about it. But you see, that comment kind of strikes me as the same thing that everyone has told me about. Like, even when I was trading in the 2000s, when people came up to me about, the Madoff fund, is that people said the same thing. You say you know, but you don't really know. And it's like I'm scratching my head because you can't have that consistent of a performance. It just doesn't make any sense. And now that I've lived, 20 years longer from when that happened, I'm now like, okay, that this really doesn't make any sense. make any sense. And Hex sounds like a lot like everyone else that said, "We're promising you great returns. We're promising you this. We're promising you that," and then all of a sudden, the creator has hardly the factors of wealth, and then it grows into, oh my god, it's got the. He's showing like, well, I'm wealthy. This is what it made me, and it's just weird. I watched a lot of his interactions on a lot of the shows, and even when he was on a live broadcast podcast with Fresh and Fit, he seemed to. He gave me a lot of scammer vibes. I'm just saying. So even hey, if I miss out, I miss out. To me, and I was like, oh well, I missed out on a lot. I missed out on Amazon. If Hex turns out to be an Amazon, then hey, oh well, I shrug my shoulders and say, hey, missed out on that one. But if it doesn't, then I say, okay, well, glad I did miss out because I helped preserve. So, but at the same time, I can't exchange for exchange the hex coins for money. It's just like a roundabout way to do it. And every exchange is dropping it, so I can't sell it there. So what the hell? So you got transfer, you got to go to Uniswap, transfer it to a stable coin, and then transfer that, and then try to sell that. And that just seems too complicated. I need a quicker exit in and out.
It just seems like he works hard to come on our stream just to say, "Oh, you don't know nothing about Hex, LOL," and then he's like, "Oh, I made gains on Hex." He's like, "What's?" It's not that you have to contribute something to the stream. It's just like, I really want to know what his point is on watching us. Like,
Well, hold on, Cody. I want to answer this. NG Dubs, he was really wealthy way before what? Way before what? Sold a company for 200 million. Yeah, but there's traceable events for selling a company of that magnitude. And even when I ask guys that help manage money to a high net worth individuals, and they're in my network, none of us can find that company. Like there's no record of transaction, there's no transfer ACH transfers, there's like even no record of formal title exchanges in the state that it was registered, nor can I find the state that the business was registered in. So, I mean, that is a huge red flag. That is a huge red flag. If you're telling me that you made this money off of a business, then there has to be a revenue stream. There has to be tax filings. There has to be, and there's none of it. So, I mean, you guys got to tell me. It's like if there's no tax filings, like I could go where I got my 2000. Actually, I got it. Where's? All right, I'll show you guys. And I'm not even that big. Here's my tax filings, right here. 2022. See how big this binder is? Look at it. It's huge. I have this. You can go to IRS, bam, right here. They could pull the exact same thing up. All my taxes, all the stuff paid. $200 million. And this is for just a 7-figure business. And all of what I did last year in 2022, which is nothing compared to this year. The thing is though, when they keep saying about that business, I can't find it. So I'm just curious as to what it is, because like every time the name is brought up, I can't find it, I can't research it, I can't do anything. Um, shout out to Eric, thanks for the follow, really appreciate that. Shout out to El Dinty Cody, really doesn't like Hex. Yeah, he's not a big Hex supporter. And shout out to David James. Wow, Paxos absolutely flying. I think that's that gold related one, isn't it? Isn't that what Paxos is? I'm not sure. I don't know all of them, but we can definitely. I don't know, but David, you might have to give us a. All right, well let's pull his fun things. Like I won't truth. I will pull up my background checker program, and we'll see. So we'll find out if I think he's let's say 40. Oh, we'll find him very quickly, right? Okay, here he is. I think this is it. I'll switch this over to you guys on the screen so we can see. I don't see it. Let me see if I could look up. So nothing pulls up under Richard Hart. I mean, nothing. Like I can't find him on there. So let's pull up. There it is. There he is. Okay, got his last name. Okay. All right. See how easy that is? Just quick Google search. Now I can input that data in here. We're gonna see. Once I pull this up, I can find everything about you: your tax records, your where you lived, how many phone numbers you have, how many email addresses you have. This is a wonderful program. But I'll show you guys the screen in just a second. I think what was CH? Uh, you are. See if we can pull them up there. Okay, I got a couple things. Let's see what his age is. So now we can go back and say Richard Hart. There he is. So we can find out his age. 44 years old. Okay, got it right here. Fun thing, fact about this is that you can find pretty much anything about somebody. And all we got to do is look at the report because it actually will, since he's been in subpoena by the SEC. So let's see. We're gonna see there, guy. Shout out to why God, does anyone live in the United States anymore? Yep, I certainly do. I'm still here. A lot of us are still here. 350 million people are still here. Let's see here. I might be able to find Richard Hart versus C. Usually you can find that record out there. Okay, let's see here. Pulling it up. Let's see here. I think I got two, but I'm pretty sure this is probably the guy because the other guy is 74. Yep, that's the guy. Okay, so now that I pulled up his record, I found his record for you guys. So let's go ahead and let's go and see here. Okay. Well, it's got a lot of numbers. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For a wealthy guy, he seems to change his phone number a lot. That's a bad sign, number one. But let's take a look at businesses here, right? Okay, so businesses that you guys are talking about, he has Audio S to C Inc., Doom Research and Doorstream Research and Development, Efficient Streams Inc. Let's see here. Breeze air conditioning. Huh. Okay, it's a little weird. Some of those, not sure. But here it is. Audio Ecstasy, for profit, founded January 10th, 2000, inactive 2015. So inactive means, what that means is it was not sold, because it would say either sold, defunct, which means the a state or federal government shut it down. Inactive means it got stopped registering. Now, this is just the filing for it. Not really. We could go to, let's go take a look at where that property is. Let's go over here. Let's go to Google. I'm gonna do this deep dive since we really want to get involved in it. We're gonna showcase this. So go look up this info here. So yeah, this was less than 10 years ago, but I'm gonna share this tab here. This is where that Audio SCC business was registered at. This does not look like a place for a successful business. Now, if one as you get bigger, we all understand you got to start somewhere in the garage or everything, but your most recent filing at the time of business closure shouldn't be here. So that what it means is they probably filed it, did something with it, stopped it, and I don't think anything really happened with it. But let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go look at another one here. Contact, amendment. So 2002 was the last annual report filed. I mean, that was the last report of registration filed. So that means it's been inactive, and it was just like kind of cut loose there. But we have Door Stam Research and Development, right? Founded in 2003, inactive as of 2020. Let's take a look at this property because this is 2020. It was is where this business is registered. So let's take a look at this one. So that's pretty recent. That's during the pandemic. Doesn't quite look like a streaming area or anything involved with technology. This honestly looks like either a used car lot or a mechanic. And I think it's a mechanic. Let's take a look at the next one here. Efficient systems, same place. Okay. Same thing. 2001 and effective. Last filing 2003, last filing 2004. I don't even have an address for this one. Office address. Okay, here's an office address. It's inactive. So let's pull this one up too. Okay. Let's pull up this office address. There we go. Let's see where that is. This one's in Tallahassee. Okay. So we're in an office here. But, that looks like a different, looks like a big business is in there. Probably rented out an office. You can do that for about $100. Okay. So I'm not we're not going to focus on that one. but none of these are registered for sale. That's that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to. None of these are registered for sale. They're just all inactive, except for this one here. We got Sea Breeze Air Conditioning active and most recently filed. Now you can make a lot of money in air conditioning, but let's take a look at that office address again. This is in Fort Lauderdale, and it's registered into an office in Tallahassee. So once again, we're registered in this little area right here, this little house right here. And don't tell me that oh, you using a rental property because no one has their business pertinent information sent to anything other than their home address. So I have a feeling this has got to be what he registers as a home address, or he has a relative there. However, let's go and look at. You can do a virtual business address, but you still have to physically get paperwork. Like the state, local governments, everybody, all the government uh, forces, they are they send you mail. You have to have it, and they come to your place of business to inspect to make sure you're actually a person. So, but like we're talking about Fort Lauderdale, which is on one side, and he's registering the business in Tallahassee, which is about 500 miles away. So, it's an air conditioning company. Like, which way? Yeah, the mail could be forwarded, but you still have to. You have in order for you to be registered, you had to get your business license, and you had to get your business license through an in-person inspection. Now, I started a business in Florida. I know exactly how they do it. So, I have a feeling. I said this one's up to date, and it looks like it's been running, and he might be doing very well off of it, but not as well. Up here it is. This isn't a business that was inherited. So I bet you this is a family business that now has him as the controller or the owner of it because it was established in 1983 and he was 6 years old at the time. So I doubt he was running this. So this is probably a family's that he purchased. Inactive. Yeah, every other business is inactive. But let's go check licenses. All right, let's go check licenses. Yep. He has his license to be an air conditioning contractor. I think that was for his dad,
Who are we talking about?
Richard Hart.
Oh, great. I love it.
So it looks like his dad owned it, and I guess he took over ownership, but he does not have his license to work. It's all registered in his dad. Um, he was a mortgage broker, but that's expired, and he was working for somebody that was expired. Another mortgage broker individual. Okay, that's himself expired. Okay. All right, let's go to this 2001 bankruptcy, chapter 7. So, filed for a pretty big one. Looks like that's it. Filed, but discharged. So, I think it was dismissed. Has a previously owned property, no current owned properties, and nothing else. But we could certainly check this here. There he is. Okay. This is a guy. 2001, charged for battery. 2001, charged for aggravated battery and assault. For Richard Hart. misdemeanor first degree.
I just find it crazy how anybody would like Richard Hart. Like, he seems like the kid that's insecure that nobody likes.
Yep, pled guilty, pleaded out a sentence, and actually because of the assault and battery, I'm guessing it was directed towards a woman because he was registered on the list for a little bit as
Because he's
mandated
a beta.
court.
Because
So
Richard Hart is a beta male. And people who, a lot of hex holders, they see something in common with Richard Hart. And that's the only, because I have nothing in common with Richard Hart. You know, I don't, I'm nothing like him. I can't even listen to him speak for 5 minutes. The people who can, it's like they have a lot of similarity with him. Betas.
let's see. You said shout out to NG Dub. So 25. So he was born in 19. Well, let's see. Let's see when he was born here. 1979 plus 25. But he wasn't making. My thing here is NG Dubs is he could say he might have left the country, but his address is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at his dad's house. He has no properties here. As a matter of fact, let me show you the last property. The last, most recent property, we'll go down here. See, ownership history. Yep, the only property he owns is this 1300 Southwest 28th Street, which he bought from his dad. And this is right now, he currently owns no properties in the US, period. It would come up. It's just this property right here, right on the stream. This property he bought from his dad, and he's no longer in ownership of it. It said previously owned. So, and he bought it as of 2015. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a billionaire lifestyle to me. I mean, I could look up Jeff Bezos on here too.
Google Richard Hart, and it's not even just Richard Hart. A lot of these celebrities and people you think are wealthy, they're not as wealthy as they say they are. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Richard Hart only has like maybe 3 million at that, access. He doesn't seem to have the lifestyle of somebody that's 500 million plus. And that whole like altruism crap, that whole SBF crap. Like, if anything, if he's living that way of, oh, I drive a Corolla and I don't flaunt my wealth, which is not Richard Hart because he flaunts his wealth. It's like he's not living the lifestyle that is his net worth, but at the same time, he claims he's not altruistic and he flashes his wealth. So he tries to be half and half. You're just trying to hate on him and find things against him. No, I could apply the same logic to Hex and you. It's like they try their hardest to say the good things about him, but it's like you act like we can't do our own discernment and form our own opinions. Like, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. I don't understand why you keep having a problem with my opinion on Hex. And that reminds me a lot of Richard Hart. Anytime an interviewer would question him or have any type of discernment, he'd go straight to the insults. That's what NG Dubs and Freedom Fighter and all these Hex holders do. They don't let us have our own opinion. They got to keep going and going. It's like nobody's trying to hate on nothing. I just don't like Hex. You keep coming on the stream and you keep promoting it. Instead of just watching and enjoying the stream and us talking about crypto, you keep talking about Hex, and then you throw LOLs and laugh and throw insults. It's like, dude, it's not that serious. It's like, I have my own opinion. You keep coming on the stream with an agenda. You're obviously not trying to watch it. You're just trying to make us fill your bags. I've watched his videos from 2017. You don't understand. I've watched every video you can think of on Richard Hart. I spent 2 hours, 2 hours of research, actually 2 or 3 weeks ago. I stayed up for a good amount of the night doing research on this man. I have every reason to hate him. You act like I'm just uneducated. I'm stupid. Like, I've done hours of research on Richard Hart. Hours.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna cut it there for the stream because, like I said, I just went through his background. Most, like, even Jeff Bezos, we can pull up and see his ownership of the company, of what he of his percent, even like old filings of Amazon and proof. But the thing is when I look it up, I could see what's going on. With Hart, I can't see what's going on, other than the fact that there isn't too much going on, other than just simple businesses. Like I
At
said,
Crypto Dream, he said, "Time shows all, and if you end up right, you can have the last laugh. There are just too many red flags." That's literally all we're saying, and he keeps like throwing insults, acting just like Richard Hart, like the LOLs, the laughs, the "you're uneducated," blah blah blah. It's just, dude, you're just embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself.
well, like I said, it's up to you guys to do it. Is to do your own research. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I do have to get going because I have a few people calling me from one of my crews that are still out for moving. So I hope you guys had the a good time. Uh, Chatting. Will definitely be back tomorrow morning. Well, I'm sorry, not tomorrow morning because I'm actually going to be going out of state for the weekend. So I will try to see if I can get that stream in with Crypto Dream in the evening. We may not, but I do appreciate all you guys joining in. Hope you guys do your own research. Don't invest more than you're willing to lose. I'm sorry if I didn't get to all the comments because every time we talk about Hex, it's like the comments seem to just be rolling. So, but without that said, like and subscribe, follow us on YouTube, subscribe there if you can. Really help us out trying to get to 500. Go to Crypto Dream, follow his channel as well, and join us always for lives on TikTok. Hit the follow button and make sure you hop on every time we join live. Other than that, we appreciate all your guys' support, and we're going to check you guys later. Have a good evening and have a safe weekend.